You are listening to More for the woman who simply wants more with Tiffany Largie. I had to put my hair up for this one because this conversation, we're not even ready for it. Men, oh man. I know that I'm going to get heat for telling you that we are not always equal. And the power of a woman resides in her ability to acknowledge her more in what she wants to accomplish, to acknowledge her more in what she's working on, but to not deny herself mentally or sexually or spiritually. I feel like our magic, and I know I'm going to talk about this more later on this year, but our magic is rooted in our ability to tap into who we are as a woman and not compete with a man. I have been playing in a man's world, so to speak, for such a long time, like selling and business, the businesses that I've built, not being in business, just the businesses that I've built in the industry, always men at the table. But wanting to dumb down the feminine part of me, dumbing down the sexuality that I carry, dumbing down my softness, dumbing down my strength, like my strength and my vulnerability in the same space, like that's not the win. We are greater. And so when it comes to men, we are greater as women when we're able to totally own our value and place and sexuality and sensualness as a woman, especially when it comes to business in front of men, and letting men then respond to that with whatever it is that they do in their manisms, right? We're going to call it with testosterone and strength and sometimes ego and sometimes arrogance, which in depending on the right sector, they're not crazy, they're not bad, or competitiveness. And it's like, if we can find the balance and know that our responsibility, and this is my whole goal. My goal of this is to make it clear that your win, like part of you strengthening yourself is not to compete with a man, and it is also, or to diminish a man. Okay, I'm gonna get there in a moment. It's also not to compete with other women. One, my first statement is that there is enough amazing things, opportunities, and experiences available for all women. And we don't, as women, have to compete with the other and push them down and not give them the game and all of the above simply so that we can get ahead. Absolutely not. The second thing that I want to say is that I believe between a man and a woman, even when I'm at work, like I really do believe wholeheartedly that it's not 50-50, that it's 49-50. And that if I can own that man has already built inside of him the capacity to lead. And if I allow myself to stay in my lane, right? So my lane, you call it sexual, sensual, whatever the hell you want, right? And we're going to get into this in a different arena later on this year, because I really want to see the feedback. I'm sure someone's going to be like, what the hell did you just say? And I'm going to develop an actual episode on it. But if we can lean into that emotionally, we find ourselves in a really cool, delicious place that strengthens us. And the strengthening of us is in allowing us to sit in our seat and they sit in their seat next to us. Too many women are crossing paths and they want to be the man and the woman in the relationship. They want to be the woman and the man in the relationship, and then they stomp on the man for when he's not man enough, but it's partly because you are not woman enough, I guess, if that's the right word. And so it's like you make yourself, like you be the woman and feel good and whole as the woman, and then they do the things. This is in business relationships, this is in marriage, this is in any relationship that you hold with the opposite sex. I know that someone's going to say, but what about this demographic of people? I'm not talking about that demographic of people right now. I'm just talking about this right here. There's this magical dance that happens between a man and a woman. And if you can master that magical dance without having sex, just by being, and being clear on the energy you carry as a woman and leaning into that, leaning into your feminine qualities, leaning into your softness, leaning into your vulnerability / strength, leaning into your bright ideas and bubbly personality and all of the things that make you you, you will naturally have more mountains move in front of you, because some of the people that have different types of strength, stronger than you, will come alongside. They will feed off of that energy naturally. And then you will be positioned in a place and way in which they will help you move the mountains without you having to ask them. I believe wholeheartedly is one of the key reasons why I have been able to stay in the spaces and places that I'm in, because I don't try to overpower, downplay a man or a man's role, no matter their age. And I respect who they are as a man. And I know that in every situation, it's 50-49. I'm holding 49%. Oh my God, someone's going to pass out. I can already feel it. I'm holding 49%. And the man's holding 50%. And depending on the situation and the moment, then at that moment, it's up for grabs. And that up for grabs, I may end up with 50. And in one moment, there's 51. It doesn't mean that he's ahead of me. It does mean, though, that there's a capacity for me to lead myself and to also be strong enough to let him lead. If you're here with me, it's because we have a very specific way of behavior. We can really dance in between that line of not male and female, but you have you have qualities that are a little different from the other women around you. You have qualities and you have interests that are different from other women, other types of women. And it's like, you've tried to play that game, but it just doesn't work for you. You've said to yourself for years, I feel more comfortable with men. I hang out better with men. I get along with guys more and such and such and such. And I get that. I hear you. I played football in high school. Like, I get it. I just feel like it's that if you could understand and own the fact that it's not just it comes from a place. It's because there is identifiers. There are things that you identify with in that man, and it makes you feel good. But there's also ways that man can make you feel. And this is whether you're married or not. And for the woman or man who was like, well, I don't want my husband, picking up on any other sexual energy in the world, you're in trouble. Okay. Same thing for a woman. I don't want any other such and such. It's not about having sex. It's literally just a dance between man and woman. I didn't create the planet, and I definitely did not create a man and woman or male and female. I did not. So I'm not the owner of the game. I'm just telling you how to play it. I'm telling you how to play it. Like, this is the game. I'm giving you the game in the back door, because what I did in my first 10 years is I spent way too much time being too damn hard and trying to compete with the men. I wore pantsuits. I didn't wear bright lipstick. I didn't wear as much jewelry when I was with all those white guys. I dumbed down. I wore those damn Banana Republic suits. I wore neutral lip gloss and all these other things. I wasn't flashy. I was just corporate. I was professional. Forget professional. What is me? I come from a city where women are wearing tight dresses with 4-inch heels to the grocery store and 25 bracelets and big hoop earrings, and they're happy as hell with their lives. And I love that. The moment that I made that shift and I stopped trying to fit into the corporate professional man's world, that's when I went from 6 figures to 7 figures. Every single time someone asks me this question, I am placed with this narrative of like a moment where I had to own my own value. Next week, in the next part of this series, I'm going to talk to you, before I get to walking you through your story, I'm going to walk you through a moment, like my key defining moment of when I went from multiple 6 figures to multiple 7 figures. And the story is going to be ridiculous, and you're not even going to believe it. So with that, I say, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see how you go and get your more. I am thrilled that you and I get to be here together, bestie, every single week, because this is the one place for women who want more, where I am going to give you the game that we just can't get anywhere else. I love you. I'm rooting for you. I'll see you next week. Girl, wasn't that amazing? Listen, I wish that I'd had conversations like the one that you and I just had. I mean, on my way to my first 10K, 100K, million with another woman, a woman who just gave me the game, the inside thoughts, all the stuff that we're not talking about on the surface. I wish I had heard from a woman who gave me the more and told me it was okay to be who I am and the way I was, and I didn't have to be apologetic about it all the time. That's why I'm so excited that we get to be here together. Here's what I selfishly want you to do, because I want to see you in just a couple of days from now. On Wednesday, there is something called Tequila with Tiffany. You can head to tequilawithtiffany.com right now and register. You and I get to have a drink. We're going to happy hour virtually. And I'm going to give you the current game, what's happening right now at this exact moment, so that we can acquire more in micro steps in between this. And if you're like, Tiffany, I don't know what I need, then do this. Send us a note, send me an email, send a pigeon, tie it and send it over here to Phoenix. But whatever it is, make sure that you're taking a step. And I want you to know that I'm here with you so that we can take it together. I can't wait to see you on the next episode as we race towards more.